What's up guys, Cut Protagonist here, and today we'll be doing a deck profile on the Dragon World 5th Omni deck from the brand new cards from Strife. So, 5th Omni has always been a meta deck whenever new support is out for the 5th Omni cards. And with Strife, 5th Omni has gotten so much better. It now revolves around Archite, which is a size 3 base monsters, which allows you to make all your other Omni lots a size 0, which means you'll be able to flood your field with size 3 powerful monsters. And thanks to the new 5th Omni Sky Dragon Emperor Mugen drum, you will be able to hard control your opponent's monsters. So this is an extremely powerful control deck, and it also packs a punch with its aggression. So without further ado, let's get started with the deck profile. For the buddy, I use Archite because she is the main engine of the deck. Her ability to give you gauge, life, and draw one card, and also convert one of your Omni monsters into size 0 is extremely powerful. With that, you'll be able to call lots of double attacking monsters, and you'll be able to push for game. So she's the buddy of choice because you always want her out in your opening hand. First monster to go through is 4 copies of Archite, aka our buddy monster. So what Archite does, call cost, put the top card of the deck into your soul, and you pay 2 gauge. So for 2 gauge, you get a Soul Guard monster, which is your engine of deck. You always want to get it out ASAP. When you're dealt damage, put the top card of the deck in your gauge and you gain 1 life. If it's your turn, you can draw an additional card, then call a monster from your hand and turn it to size 0. So do take note that you'll only be able to charge and heal if you are using it during your opponent's turn. Really powerful ability because you have a lot of triggers in this deck. For example, cards that deal damage to yourself allows you to activate all your Omni Lord's effect. She is very important because previously mentioned, she makes all your size 3s and size 0, so you will be able to flood with you with super Omni monsters. Now 4 copies of the brand new Mugen drum is from the secret pack, the 5th Omni secret pack. An extremely powerful monster. Strangely, he's a size 2 because I definitely think that he should be a size 3. It is an Omni Lord, so you can actually play in your Omni Lord base deck. This card cannot be caught in the center. Call cost, put the top card of the deck and pay 2 gauge. When you take damage, destroy a monster on your opponent's field and you gain 1 life. One thing very interesting to note is its ability is not once per turn. So for example, if your opponent were to be silly enough to keep attacking your life points while not clearing him, he basically gets his monsters all destroyed because each time you take damage, you destroy one of your monsters and you gain 1 life. And basically, it's often all attacks. Tip against playing this deck, do destroy this monster, otherwise you're gonna have a hard time. Nonetheless, it's an extremely powerful monster with the double attack. And I really love the art. Bushido did an excellent job on the art this time around on Strife. Most of the monsters feature their buddy, which I really like in this artwork. He is basically your card control engine of the deck. So for a copy of Mugen drum, you always want him out of the field because he does so much great stuff to control opponent. Initially, I do feel that 5th Omni lacked the push. With this card, your 5th Omni will be able to dish out heavy damage. 4 copies of Chaos Omni Lord. I just call him Chaos Omni Lord for short. Basically, he is a triple attacker. Call cost, put the top card of the deck into this card soul and pay 2 gauge. If you have 3 or more monsters on the field, this card gains us 2k attack, 2k defense, and penetrate. Since it's a triple formation deck, you'll be able to get its penetrate and make it an 8k attacker. Second ability, which is the best ability, when you are dealt damage for this turn, this card gains triple attack. Really powerful, especially in a deck where you have a lot of double attackers. He will be the main attacker. There's a lot of decks that play center base such as Chaos, so this guy's extremely good against Chaos because center base decks will get wrecked by its penetrate. So 4 copies of it. Now 2 tech copies of Grandpa Tembu. Grandpa Tembu is still a very good card. The only reason why I only run it at 2 is because he has a requirement of putting a monster from the field in this card soul. He doesn't say up to a monster, so you must have a monster already on the field before you can call him. But he is a very powerful card. Put a monster from the field in this card soul and pay 2 gauge. When this card enters the board or you are dealt damage, destroy all monsters on your opponent's field. He's basically an upgraded form of the Mugen drum because he basically destroys everything on your opponent's field. If you have him on the field during your opponent's turn, you could use cards like Drago Guts to self-inflict damage and trigger his ability to destroy all monsters on the opponent's field, which is amazing. He has 3 crit double attacks, so which means he'll be dishing out huge damage. So 2 copies of Grandpa Tembu. Now 1 tech copy of Hellfire Double. This is my to-go play if I do play against decks like a Tora, which is very focused on having the gauge early game. For example, if you do steal enough gauge, most of the size 3 base decks actually do crumble by itself because they do not have the gauge to call their boss monster. This is 1 tech copy. If you want to play it, you could play it. If you don't want to, don't have to do it. I still recommend playing it because you can search it out anyway. Now it's time for the size 0 monsters. Some of them do go from 1 to 0, but basically they are supports for the deck. 4 copies of Megalex and Dobo SD. Extremely cute. This is actually one of my favorite art of Strife. Both of them together. Alright, his ability is, if you have another size 2 or greater Omni Lord, it is a size 0. Really neat because you can call it alongside your Archite, and when he enters the field, you can put up to 1 monster with 5th Omni from your deck to your hand. So basically, you can add in any Omni Lords from your deck to your hand, and also the items, because the item do have the Omni Lord in the name, and you take 2 damage. Taking 2 damage is fine in this deck because you do gain a lot of life from your Omni Lord effects. One reason why I do use him is not only for the search, it is also because he is a triggerer, so you can actually trigger some of your monsters if you do actually need it. basically search out your whole deck. It really helps the consistency of 5th Omnis. Now, one of the classic superstars of the 5th Omni deck is 4 copies of Mugen SD. He is basically one of the most efficient triggerers because you can trigger him anytime. Counter ability, you can choose an Armor Dragon on the field. He gives a 1k attack, 1k defense, and penetrate ability, and you take 1 damage, which means you'll be able to trigger all these wonderful abilities, which will definitely give you pluses. Triggers ability doing crucial plays helps you win game. Now, 3 copies of Omni.Drum. He's a size 1. He's not a size 0, unfortunately. I kind of wish that they make it a size 0 if you have another monster on the field. But he's just there because you can always use Archive's ability, use her ability to make him a size 0, then use the size 0 to trigger some of your other Omni-Lot skill. He's actually very powerful because he basically gives all your Omni-Lot extra soul, which means he gives you extra life. It's similar to Mugen SD, which you can use to counter anytime, really good. Counter ability, put the top card of deck into a soul of a monster on your field, so it could be your Archive or any of your center. Basically, I recommend you to put a center monster because your center monster will be tanking all your attacks, and you take 1 damage. And taking 1 damage helps you trigger all these wonderful abilities. So 3 copies of Drum. If it's a size 0, I'll definitely go 4, but for now 3 is fine. Alright, now let's go into the spells. We play 4 copies of brand new Omni-Lot spell, Dragonlord Quick Slash. It is a triggerer, it destroys monsters, it deals 2 damage to your opponent. It is simply amazing. Cast cost, pay 1 gauge and take 1 damage, which means you'll be able to activate most of your Omni-Lot skills. Amazing. Counter destroy a monster on bonus field. Then if you have a monster with Drum in its card name, this is why you always want Mugen Drum. Mugen Drum is very important in this deck. Deal 2 damage to your opponent. Even if you do not have the Drum, you can also destroy a monster on bonus field and trigger some effects. Really powerful. I really like this card. However, it's only once per turn, so if you want to cut it down to 3, it's fine. I play 4 because the 2 damage is lit, man. 4 copies of Drago Wisdom. Very important card. Basically kind of like your Gauge SL and your draw engine. You basically take 1 damage, you can charge and draw. It's just there because it's an extra triggerer. It is not something very important. I do play the 3 to 4. 3 is fine as well. 4 copies of Drago Guts. Now this card is really good because you'll be able to activate its counter anytime you need. So anytime you find yourself in danger, especially if your opponent monsters attacking, you have Mugen Drum on the field. Alright, I cast Drago Guts. Mugen Drum destroy one of your monsters. You always want to stand by some counters in case your opponent were to do anything important, and you can intercept with some counter spells. So this is your counter spell, gives you extra life, increases your survivability, amazing card. 3 copies of Drago Bride, basically salvage some 5th Omnis from the drop zone. You take 1 damage, trigger wonderful abilities, charge 1 gauge, and from the drop zone add back an Omni-Lot back to your hand. So most of the time I do add back my Archive because Archive is so good in the deck. You get a gauge at the free monster of this spell card. Sweet. Now for the defensive spell, I play 4 copies of Drago Desperate. Drago Desperate is great because firstly, it can be countered anytime you want. So you pay 1 gauge and you take 1 damage, you'll be able to activate all your Omni-Lot skills, and most importantly, it allows you to rest items and monsters. Items really important because you play against Grantees, you definitely want to think rested, otherwise you'll be in huge trouble. So yeah, however, you can only rest a size 2 or less monster. It's okay, I guess, especially against Thunder Empire, which they don't play a lot of size 3s. Great card, nonetheless. Gives you that instant trigger. Amazing. And of course, 1 tech copy or Loyalty, because nowadays, this card is never dead. Just because of the fact that most people do call so many monsters. Playing against Thunder Empire, Chaos, this card is a lifesaver. Definitely do some research on this card and tell me what you think. Alright, for the items to play, 4 copies of the Drago Brave. I really like the reskin version of the Drago Brave because it looks so good. It is basically a golden Drago Brave. Equip cost, put a hand card into this card soul and pay 1 gauge, and you take 1 damage. Really good because it allows you to trigger stuff. So what I usually like to do is I call Archive already. I equip Drago Brave. Drago Brave skill, take 1 damage to trigger my Archive skill and get the engine going. What makes it amazing, it has 3 crit and 5k attack power, and it can attack even if you have Armor Dragon in your center. The second reason why I really like this card is because when you take damage, charge 1 gauge and gain 1 life, then if it's your turn, you draw 1 additional card. Similar to Archive, so if you can use this ability during your opponent's turn, however you only charge and heal, you won't be able to draw an extra card. But nonetheless, during your turn, drawing extra cards to your hand is such a huge plus. So 4 copies of Drago Brave, always want it on the field, MVP of the deck. So I hope you guys enjoy my deck profile on the Dragon World 5th Omni-Lot Archive deck. And if this video helped you better understand this deck, I really appreciate if you leave a like on this video. And also, if you guys are looking for Buddyfight decks and singles, be sure to check out my online store www.buddy-mart.com. Links in the description box down below. So once again, thank you guys for watching, peace out and love you guys. Rawr.